Hello, I'm back. I'm going to be talking about a couple of things tonight because it is pretty late, like around 11 a.m. While I'm going to be unboxing my entire package of a tattoo gun that I bought, I think like over a year ago, that I have not opened up the box of until like a couple of hours ago. So this time, I'm gonna be like fiddling with a bunch of these boxes and trying to put together my tattoo gun for the first time while I attempt to talk because I can't multitask that well. So I'm gonna see how this goes. So, kind of want to talk about my my week. I can't multitask. Holy shit, this is gonna be so bad. But I want to talk about my week from last week. No, not last week. A couple of days ago, actually, because when I'm recording this right now, it's Tuesday or Monday night, coming into Tuesday, and then the day that I want to talk about will be from Saturday, but I went to a concert on Saturday. I went to an Excision concert. I haven't been to a rave since November of last year, and so like usually I would go to more raves, but I've been listening to less of the EDM genre and more of other genres. So, and also the only EDM genre that I would usually go to raves on now are more of hard dubstep. So I don't find that much interest in going to like the more melodic ones that a lot of people that I know go to anymore. So I went to Excision. That was fun. Like me going to every other rave, I try to go to the front or like somewhere at the rails. So I definitely succeeded at going to the rails this time around at the front. So if you somehow, the listener, went to this second one, interesting, okay. If you somehow went to this rave or concert along with me, then you would have definitely seen me at the front of the rails in the corner. But other than that, before I went to that rave, I went and ate Ethiopian food with my friend, and I had the most like horrible stomach pain in the existence of stomach pains my life, a couple of hours aftermath. And so me going to that rave was a horrible, treacherous idea that lasted until the next day. And so my stomach was basically dying by the next day, and definitely throughout the night of Excision. But I think somehow the adrenaline and needles, the adrenaline and the thrill of hearing something, let's not put all of them in there, hearing something hard distracted me from the pain. But I wish I had more recordings of, I'm assuming this is like the exact same thing, I'm just gonna ignore this. I'm assuming that, fuck, where's the body? Wait, hold on. I'm so confused. Because I have the tip right here, I have the needles. Maybe that unpackaged one might be it, but I can't tell. This is my first time this is my first time organizing a tattoo gun, by the way, so that's the reason why I am very disorganized right now. I don't know what the first step is. Is this supposed to be the instructions manual? Because I kind of don't know what I'm doing. I forgot what I purchased considering it was over a year ago. But I bought this at this store called Dragon Hawk. I don't know if they're like a good brand, but I think I did some research on it when I was trying to find this, and I saw that they were a good brand. So this is not the instruction manual, so I don't need this. Onto the floor goes. This, I don't think I need this right now. I need better. So what the fuck is the bottom? Hello? These are cartridges. Wait, hello? Instructions. What was I talking about? Wait, is this literally it? Did I not buy the body? Wait, did I? No. No, this has to be it. I feel like this has to be it. But, yeah, my stomach blew up at Excision, but it didn't matter because I was going crazy at the front, where somebody recorded me, doing whatever the fuck I was doing there because I'm pretty sure I looked demonic while I was raving there. And then, anyways, the next day, my stomach died, and I decided to eat spicy food again today because I recently got better, and so I was like, yes, let's instead, on the body anyways, let's instead, the fuck was I gonna say? I don't know. Anyways, regardless, yeah, very fun Saturday. The following days, not as fun. I was recovering from the pain that I keep talking about, and I organized my photos, I organized my room, bunch of organizations. I attended some meetings for internships and whatnot, so and then my body was like fairly sore afterwards, so I've recovered from it though. But yeah, the following Sunday, a lot of today until like I think tonight, I was in pain basically, but that was fun. I have the body. Where's the attachment? Where's the instructions manual, please? Where can I find the instructions manual? What is this? I need a, wait, hold on. Okay. What do I not need here? This, everything I don't, I'm just gonna put everything I don't need on the floor because I already got packed everything. This is definitely, well, I'm probably gonna keep this for later, but let me put this in here. Put this shit on the floor. The wrappers I don't need either, so let's trash that. What was in here again? This is a box. Okay, I'm gonna need that box. So, interesting. I don't need this. This is all, wait, what the fuck? I don't need this. Let's put that gently on my table over here. Put that onto the floor. And so I have this, I have that. Don't need these. And then I have these small boxes with things inside of them that I don't know what's inside. I swear I would give this, like, honestly, such a bad idea considering I know I went into this having a lot more things to say about my day at Excision, or actually the entire day in general, but now I'm very distracted by these things, and being the bad multitasker that I am, it's me trying to find things to say. What is this? Is this just another copy? Okay, so I have two. okay, I think it's safe to assume this is the exact same box as the tip, so I'm not gonna open that for now. I don't need that. And so, hello? This is why I should not be filming videos or videos of me talking while I'm unboxing this shit. Well, other than my day, I also wanted to talk about how interesting it is for me to be interested in people. So here's the deets, okay? So I don't get interested in people that often. The only last time I got interested in somebody was my ex, and I think the only reason why I liked him so much was because of the one component and where he just had like a mindset that revolves more around the world around him. And so he didn't take things, well, at least like from the little that I knew him for, he didn't take life so seriously, but also he cared so much about it. And so he was the type of person to admire like things that shouldn't matter to a lot of other people, like I don't know, the flowers on the sidewalk or the moon or things of that nature. But also he wouldn't pay attention to things that would need to be paid attention, or he wouldn't pay attention to things that a lot of people pay attention to, like, I don't know, the most simple of things. Because whenever I see people get interested in other people, they're always like talking about how, oh yeah, she's or he or she's like so pretty and they're so nice to me and they're also kind of smart. I feel like those are fairly simple things that you see in a person. It sort of feels like it's very surface level, and so it's interesting to like think about those reasons as to why people like other people, and I can't find those reasons to be enough. And so to the conversation that I'm trying to hint at, I found somebody else that sort of, you know what, I'm just gonna do this later. I found somebody else that sort of captivated my attention. I don't know if that's the right word, just because I'm still trying to figure it out. Because I feel like whenever I get into these sort of states, I try to break down the reasons why I feel a particular way. And it's not even with these reasons, honestly. I do it with every single moment where I feel something sharp or specific. So this time around, I met this guy. I'm not gonna go into the specifics just in case, I don't know, how somehow he finds this video. Actually, no, I'm pretty sure he would tell by the way I'm describing the situation in the future, like in a couple of minutes. But honestly, even if he did find this video, he is not involved in my life enough for me to care much about. So at the end, it doesn't really matter, and I prioritize talking about this more, anyways. So I think what the first point that got me more interested was when I read this email of his, and that is the point where he realizes it's about him. But when I read this email that he showed me, that was very emotional, and he talked about how he sent it out to a publishing company because he's a writer. Well, not officially, but he is a writer. He wrote this email while he was drunk, and he sent it out to a publishing company, and the email consisted of a lot of things such as, well, vaguely about human desperation and how he has to get it published. And I think the way he wrote that was very captivating. I don't know how else to describe it. It's written in a way that I haven't seen a lot of people that I know personally write, and so I think that sort of writing style sort of intrigued me, as well as how vulnerable he sounded in the email, along with how I don't know how to describe it. He also wrote it while he was drunk, so to like how he was able to write it even while drunk, I think it was very impressive. And so that when I last read that, the only time I read that, that was around over 2 months ago, I think, or like I think it was at the end of January, and this was not when I was in the country as well. So I was abroad overseas, and I met this man overseas, and so it's not like I can frequently see him. But I first and only read this email late in January, and I've been thinking about that email ever since, and I've been trying to think about if I genuinely like him because of it, or if I just like the email itself. Because ever since that point, I've been asking for him to share his other writing, and he has expressed how personal they can be, but he has sent me a couple, and I think the other ones haven't intrigued me as much, just because I think they just sound more like what I'm more used to in terms of like writing style. I think there's just something very unique about that email that I wrote. And so I think up until now he doesn't text me a lot anymore. Whatever the reason is, I don't really well, I do care that he doesn't text me a lot. I wish he texted me more frequently, but he's busy. Whatever the reason is, like I don't blame him, considering we've only seen each other like twice. And if he does text more well, I mean, whatever he does, he's not gonna control how much I would consider my replies or responses. So I feel safe in that department of being able to share whatever I want if I want to, at whatever time. But what was I talking about? Oh yeah, up until this point, I think I'm more intrigued about how I'm still thinking about that email even after 2 months, and most of the time. The last time I felt this sort of interest was with my ex, and usually I don't go for visual looks, and so I can say yes, I would probably agree that he's attractive, but I don't know. So I feel like that wasn't the main point of interest that keeps my attention to this day. So I'm trying to think of any of the other reasons why he's been on my mind as frequently as he is, because not a lot of people tend to be on my mind like that, and I feel I'm leaning towards the idea that it's just me, almost like watching a movie that I really enjoy. I would go down that rabbit hole of the movie, and I would look up what people thought of it, or the writing process, or director's cut, or behind the scenes, all of the above, etc., for this movie that I suddenly got obsessed with. And I feel like I'm leaning towards the idea that this email might be similar, and so that's why I keep thinking about or at least like wanting to know more about his life through it, or asking him questions or things of that nature, that got brought up in that email. But then again, I don't really know if that is the full reason or if it's just a reason that I give myself to make sense of um, why I'm interested in this random stranger that I've only known personally known or seen for 2 days, because that normally doesn't happen. So that's food for thought. I'm pretty sure I've had more to say on that matter, but not a lot is coming up right now. It's just re-emphasizing points of me. I just know. I wish he texted me more and that I was able to find out. Actually, no, this is like more in alliance of like what I've been trying to like think about as a whole for myself, because this is one guy that somehow caught my attention, and so that circles around to like what I find interesting in life. And so I've tried I was gonna mention something, but I don't think I'm gonna talk about it in the video. But I've sort of thought about how I tend to like things that aren't really noticed by a lot of people. I've mentioned before how my ex, one of the main things that, well, actually the thing that I liked about my ex so much was that he cared a lot about the world as a whole, and how he would admire things that a lot of people would skip past in life, and that there were, I don't know, he thought about things a lot more. And I think it kind of reflects on myself, and I always tell people that I want a partner that is basically me, just because I care a lot about finding details in things that don't need to be found details in, or writing or creating about things with that inspiration of things that not a lot of people pay attention to. And I think with the guy that I'm talking about right now, he's almost sort of that I can see that he could be almost a reflection of that part of me that I enjoy a lot about, and that could be the reason why I seem to think about him a lot. But also that again, that could not be the case, and I'm just projecting my own ideas onto him. But at least for the moment, for all I know, for all of these like hypotheses or ideas that I come up with to try to explain why I feel the way that I do, I just know that I'm fairly fascinated by this character of his, and I'm intentionally putting distance between myself and these feelings through with this sort of observational, analytical view, just to find some logic in here that doesn't seem to have a lot of logic. But I don't know, I'm gonna think about this again for the next few weeks, like I have been for the last month or two. So I think that concludes a lot, or at least everything that I wanted to talk about. Definitely not everything that I had in mind, or definitely not exactly how I thought this video would go in terms of what I would say and stuff. But then again, these videos are not meant to be planned. They're meant to sort of be extremely authentic to my train of thought and my rambling. So However that looks on camera, I have no idea, but I have definitely not pieced together this tattoo gun because I gave up on multitasking. And so I think after I end this video, I'm gonna piece it together. So I think that is all. First upload on YouTube. I hope nobody that I know find these videos, just because that's going to inhibit the entire point of these videos, which is me not giving a fuck about how I present on camera and not caring about what I really say or any of that matter. And it's a way to bypass my perfectionism for a lot of the things that I create, or if anything, all of the things I create. So if you are somebody that I know, please don't tell me, please. And I'll keep making these videos. So goodbye, YouTube.